my God. We honestly just recorded some of the best content of our episode's history. We're talking Golden Girls. We're talking funny stories about Hamilton breeds of wrestling fans.
More Golden Girls.
More Golden Girls. You know what? I don't even know how to feel. So, boys, all right.
And if you threw a party
And invited everyone to. You would see
the
the
biggest
greatest
gift
gift
would
would
be
be
from
from
me.
me, and the
The cottage
cottage
patch
would
would
say
say,
thank you for being a friend.
friend of the Northern Lights Collective.
welcome everybody to Northern Lights Collective. We are an AEZ production, a production that I don't know what's going on. This last 20 minutes was gold, so we're just going to roll with it. Justin, how the hell are you?
I'm good. We lost another one this week, so we're gonna redo our toast to my boy, everyone's favorite, Anderson, Brock Anderson. Class is up.
We hardly knew ye. Then I said something about the Flair retirement, so we'll move forward.
And Alexis King, you know.
Oh, yeah. Bury the guy.
Wait, your favorite Anderson was Brock?
Mine was
Yep.
Louis.
I thought it
Carl.
was Gene.
Okay, yep.
How can
Yeah,
you
or
not
you
be
just-
hyped with Louis? Remember that
It's
show?
Anderson Cooper, even.
Oh, I do.
Anthony Anderson. How about that
Anthony.
dude?
Nice.
That's my dude. Speaking of my dude, it's
What about
Tank
Ken?
Diggs in the house. Tank Diggs in the house.
Oh, what's going on, boys?
Oh, every time you get me in the groove. How you feeling, bud?
I'm doing pretty good. I've been settling in, finding a nice little groove. Got a comedy show coming up in a couple weeks. Been working on some new material.
I got a question for you. Have you ever done a fully wrestling set?
No.
Have you ever thought about it?
I've little things here and there. I don't have enough material for a whole little wrestling set, but I've had little ideas here and there. I've actually always put wrestling shit in my music, references here and there for sure.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Ooh right.
Yeah.
The wrestling guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How you feeling? How the hell are you?
I'm all right. You know, could be better, could be worse.
You're not in a hearse.
No, I'm not. Nope.
So we got the boys together here, and we're going to go through a week of wrestling. I want to start off with something. We've been doing a segment called Banger of the Week. I have an issue with it because this week we were lit the buzz up with bangers. I mean, we'll talk about them all. You got Speedball going Osprey. You got Andrade going against Bryan Danielson. And I'm Kyle Fletcher and Omega. Mystico and Rocky Romero. There were so many big-time matches that we're going to break most of them down. Does anyone have anything outside of our favorite feds?
No, I don't. Not for this week anyway.
I think the only thing that played, and I'm not sure if it played, was New Japan's Road to Super Juniors tag.
Well, it is the juniors tag, right?
Oh, is it a juniors tag? I thought it said Road 2, but
No.
It's that season. It's the season.
The finals are at Power Struggle.
Power Struggle.
Yep. Well,
So the first match I mentioned makes me want to hit that right off the bat. We had one hell of an Impact pay-per-view. Should I even be saying Impact anymore, boys?
I guess
yeah,
not.
until January, yes.
Okay. So finish it off as Impact. Bound for Glory, start to finish, was delicious. I have my qualms, as I do about everything. But walking away, I feel good that I got through the whole thing. There's a lot of pieces of it. I'd like to go through it. I mean, Sabin and Kenta. Hard hitting, teasing the go to sleep stuff. I really enjoyed Kenta's appearance here. I said it once and I'll say it again. I don't believe in the Motor City Machine Guns as singles. I don't know why, and I want to because I love them as a tag, but I do not believe in them, and we'll get more into that. Can anybody argue me?
Yeah, I can maybe agree with you about Shelley, but Sabin's been singles, I think, more than he's been with Shelley.
Yeah,
I actually think the opposite of Urai. I think I would say that Shelley is probably the better singles guy, and I actually think he's a very believable champion.
Yeah, I'd have to also vote with Shelley. Super underrated. Had like a big what's the word I'm looking for? Like fingerprint on wrestlers coming up under him and stuff.
every time I see Shelley, I see bootleg Shawn Michaels. I'm sorry, I do. Sabin, I can back you, Urai. There's a lot more matches I've seen that have made me want to watch him. But in the end, I just see them as their best as a tag. And I think that's the same thing for like Kazarian and Daniels.
Yeah. Well,
I
I
would
mean,
love to believe in you. The only time I believed in CD, the only time was in Waterworld.
Yeah, I mean, that one I can agree with you on. I mean, I think I even thought the same thing when he was the ROH World Champion. Like I got why they gave it to him, but like it was also like why, because it didn't make didn't make a whole lot of sense. So I can agree with you that one a little more than Shelley and Sabin. I mean, I definitely do not see, and I like Alex Shelley. Don't get me wrong, but I definitely do not see Shawn Michaels light when I look at Alex Shelley.
Maybe it's because he won't look me in the eye with both eyes. I don't know. I don't know.
one eye looking at you, the other eye looking for you.
Yeah, exactly. All in all, it was a decent match. I mean, I do enjoy Sabin more than I do Shelley, and we're gonna get to Shelley. But now we'll move on to the Monsters Ball. Justin,
Oh,
take it away.
it was one. I mean, it was everything you expected it to be. It was. We had PCO doing basically what PCO does, and yeah, I mean, there's thumbtacks on cinder blocks. There are tables, and I mean, I was kind of shocked the PCO won, but I said on Saturday that I think him winning is just him probably that he resigned, and then today they announced that PCO resigned. So,
How old
yeah.
is he now?
Jericho's age? A little older?
He's older than Jericho by a couple by like 2 to 3
5
years.
years?
Yeah.
4 years?
No, I think like 2 to 3.
Okay. So they're from the same era, though.
Okay, why does Jericho feel younger?
I think
Jericho
because
feels younger because
there was a time lapse.
he did not do the same bumps that PCO did,
That's for sure.
and B, I think PCO was around earlier than Jericho, right? So he comes
so.
off. I mean, he does look older than Jericho a little, obviously, but I think it's just he also seems older because he was around before Jericho.
And you got to add Super Sex adds 10 years on every Montrealer.
Jesus.
So all in all, I do like PCO re-signing. I want to break down a little more on that. do you know what? We're going to hold back. All right. We're going to move on to the tag match. Rascals and ABC. Two of the easiest top teams in this company.
Mm-hmm.
Two of the most, I think they rival any other company's tag teams. I have yet to see a Rascals match that I was disappointed in. And since Ace did the makeover and bought into the ABC, I like Ace 100% more than the Purple Jacket single card thing. I mean, it's not as much character, but his in-ring is really showing up heavy. So all in all, decent match. Urai, what did you think?
I like the match. I mean, he's still doing the card thing, so I mean that's still a thing.
I mean, he's wearing the same outfit. It's just not purple. It's black.
Yeah, that's a whole nother gimmick.
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
okay.
Because they're matching clothes coming out to the same music. He's a tag teamer.
Well, I mean, I'm not disputing that. They definitely are a tag team.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, it was really good. My issue, I think, with this match, and it's not even an issue with the match itself, and we're going to probably get to it in a bit, is they do that gauntlet every year. And I feel like because they do the gauntlet, it hurts some of the matches in terms of time. And I think this was one match that got hurt with time because this was like an actual this wasn't a thrown together match. They actually built this angle up over time, probably over the last 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
And the fact that they got less than 10 minutes, I think, is atrocious.
And when we look through the card, you could have cut a minute off of Sabin Kenta. You could have cut 2 minutes from the Monsters Ball. The Call Your Shots, I think that had enough time. Trinity.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
You could have cut 20 minutes. You could have cut like 10 minutes from that one.
Yeah.
10 minutes from what?
The
Call Your Shot Battle Rock.
Well, I mean, you couldn't, though, because it's a new guy coming out every 10 minutes, and there's 20 people in it. The match went a little less than a half hour.
You can figure it out.
And, I mean, you can't really cut time off Kenta and Sabin because that match went less than 12 minutes.
Yeah, right.
Wasn't like the longest matches were the Ospreay match, which needed it, and the main event, which also needed it. Every other match was like less than 12 minutes.
I dig your beef. I dig it.
Yeah.
I think time in matches really gives the elevation of people. And we'll see that throughout this pod as we walk through the other shows where time is everything in a match.
They should have did the gauntlet. They should have made the pre-show an hour and did the gauntlet on the pre-show.
Ooh. Yeah. I could have been about it.
Because, I mean, that gauntlet match also got the Knockouts tag titles bumped to a dark match.
Are you mad?
It's their Mania, and I feel like almost everyone should be on that show.
So how long was it? 3 hours, yeah?
Yeah.
3 hours.
So if you gave it 3.5, would that have been too much? Like, here's the thing I have.
Not if you're gonna do 3.5 for Battle for Glory, and that's the only time you're doing it.
Yeah,
I'd be okay with it.
Here's my thing. We always go back to it. We went to a show, Northern Crown, 2 hours, 6 matches.
Yeah, something like that.
That was perfect pacing. It was perfect in and out. It felt good to get out of a show because we'll get into our indies later. But I went to a show and it was 3.5 hours and the kids were exhausted and they're waiting for a steel cage match. And I'm like, all I keep thinking of, if you did more shows with 6 matches in 2 hours, I think I would eat them all up.
How long was that show, Dusty?
About 3.5.
Okay.
But we'll get to it. We'll get to it. Now we get to the most important match on the card, something that was forecasted for WrestleMania weekend for who, Uri?
It was Impact versus New Japan. The new.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, Global Universe, was it?
Multiverse United.
Okay, thank you. Multiverse show, they had announced it, but Ospreay was injured, so it wasn't happening. Now we finally got it. And I'm just going to give it to you, Drummond, for a sec. I'm going to go through everybody on this one because it needs to be talked about, favorite points. But I like words you've said about this match. So go ahead, Justin.
A couple things. One, I think that is my match of the year. I think that was a better match than the match Ospreay had with Kenny. Now I have to go back and watch that. Be back to compare, but that match was phenomenal. I think that match might even be maybe the best Impact / TNA match of all time. I think it finally surpasses the Daniels, AJ, Joe three-way. And I mean, not that this matters, but like TNA and Impact's only ever gotten one 5-star match in their history from Meltzer. I think they're about to get number 2.
All right, Tank, did you watch this match?
I haven't, not yet. Anyway,
Okay,
it's on
you
the
got to
slate.
get to the highlights at least. I'll send them over. Urai, how did you feel about Speedball, Mike Bailey, and the Aerial Assassin?
I hated it. No, I'm just kidding. You know what? I'm not a big speedball guy, but I almost want to agree with Drummond. That might have been better than the triple threat, but I also don't, in my opinion, I don't think the triple threat's the best TNA match of all time.
So let's ask that. Can we do that? Because I'm going to tell you, mine's from current day, and
Yeah.
I can go right to it without thinking. And it's Josh versus EY in that
like the no DQ
callback
match.
Slammiversary.
Yeah.
See, you guys, if we're gonna go recent, I can come up. I think the best recent one is Josh and TJP in the Iron Man match in front of
I didn't
no
even
crowd.
think about that one. Uray, what do you got?
I was a big fan of Kurt Angle and Desmond Wolfe, but I was also a big fan of AJ and Joe's singles match.
Tank, where are you? I've never watched TNA. I don't watch Spike TV.
But I've watched, but like I don't have like a favorite or anything like that. I did love the whole Matt Hardy Broken Universe stuff they were doing there.
That was
I
great.
was enthralled by all of that. So I'd probably say the first Broken. What was the Final Deletion?
Yeah. No, what was his first one? Was it Final Deletion?
The first one was the Final Deletion.
Oh, that was so much fun. That was a game changer. And as for Uray talking, saying that he doesn't really feel the speedball, I'm doing the hair. I'm trying to get it just speedball, like, because that guy is a legend.
So to be honest, I think the hair's half the reason.
What are you saying? Are you saying I can't play Golden Girls to you anymore?
No, I'm saying he doesn't look good with a mullet.
But hasn't he had the mullet since before the mullet was a cool thing?
No.
When did he start the mully? Because I only remember him with a mully.
No, when we were seeing him at Smash and stuff, he had
the trim down.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm remembering. So here's my perspective on the match. Obviously, we know I'm a huge Ospreay mark, so it's hard for me not to love everything he does.
Yep.
Now, Speedball, there's a lot of history because when he had his passport issues, we got to be spoiled by seeing him on every show up in Toronto. And we never understood why he wouldn't be top guy or moving on. But then when he got his visa fixed, the guy got into shape. While he was doing the Smash shows, he had that extra thick hanging down his belly. And I loved it because it's who he was. But when he came back in shape and then started touring, it was like, okay, this is the guy. This is where he needs to be. Now, knowing that this match had to happen, I have to disagree with Drummond on a couple things because I need to go through the list because I can't remember all of the brilliance that was. I mean, Brian and Zach Sabre was vicious this year. There were too many good friggin' matches, but I can't ever look past Kenny and Will because we were in the damn building and I have an absolute bias that ruins the match for me to play from a television watching perspective.
Also, if I may, I think the storyline in that match was greater than a lot of these other matches that are being discussed. That's it.
Will and
Kenny.
Speedball? Oh, with
Kenny.
Kenny, yeah. I obviously the storyline was much better because there was actual breakdown to it over time,
Yeah.
and it's a long-term story build where Will and Speedball is like, we are supposed to have this match. It's supposed to be on the biggest weekend of them all, and it never happened. And we're gonna pull it away, but we'll give it to you one day. That's really all the story you got from it. I mean, I can't wait to watch the tapings that took place to see what Will and Josh did because they shook hands in a picture, and I saw this picture. They were shaking hands, and Josh is giving him the one finger. He wants another go. That's the only thing I saw.
One thing too is we're forgetting is Will's got one more Impact match next weekend.
Yeah, Eddie Edwards.
Yeah, or this weekend I should say. It's going to air next weekend.
I'm very excited.
Me too. I think besides Josh, Eddie's my second favorite Impact guy, so I'm really excited for that one.
Did you just call Will an Impact guy?
No, I said besides Josh, Eddie's my favorite Impact guy.
Oh, okay. Eddie Edwards is your besides Josh. Really?
Yeah, Eddie's my number 2.
Why?
I've always liked him. I don't know what it is. Even in Ring of Honor, I was a huge Wolves guy. And I think and I did like Davey Moore at first, but I think over time Eddie overtook that. And I don't know if it's because you started to know Davey Richards' stuff, and like him being just a dick, not even the stuff that happened this year, but just him being an asshole.
Yeah.
But no, I always liked the Wolves. They were one of my favorite tag teams when they were like top of the ROH card. And yeah, I've always just been a big Eddie Edwards guy. So yeah, I think and for a while, he there was a time where he was kind of like one of the only reasons to watch that show because they didn't really have a whole lot else going on.
I like the words you're saying, and it's fun because when he was with the Wolves, they were one of like 4 tag teams that like as WWE was really the big party, you said, why is Gorillas of Destiny? Why are Young Bucks? Why are the Wolves? These were all the Briscoes. These were the top tag teams. And they made it viable that, hey, WWE tag team wrestling still exists. And there was a time where WWE could not give a shit about their tags. And these guys were putting on clinics. And the Wolves are very, very, very responsible for that.
I mean, I was at the Hammerstein Ballroom when the Wolves reformed to face Red Dragon. That's
oh my God.
Yeah.
That's a match. How was that?
That was amazing. That whole show was amazing, actually. That was the night Briscoe beat Steen to win the world title.
That's beautiful. I love that you were at Hammerstein. That's like one of those holy grail places in wrestling, like Cow Palace, you know?
And one thing I made sure about when I went there is I didn't want to sit on the floor. I sat in one of the balconies.
Balcony sitting for wrestling has a different feel, no?
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, especially in the Hammerstein.
So now, within the match, a couple things that I really, really loved was they went Japanese strong style for a second, but rather than do the chops and the forearms and the punches and the slaps, they went straight with kicks. And it was a kick-for-kick match. And the exchanges were so beautiful. The selling was not there, obviously. Storm Driver, I actually showed my son this, and I explained where tucking your chin exists. And his Storm Driver looked so safe that Kenny's looked like he should be paralyzed. I really enjoyed how they put the match together. And all in all, I can say it's in the running for match of the year. And for Impact to have that type of match, that's sexy. And the only thing we can take from this is what Will said after the fact. Now, bidding war of 24 doesn't just exist with MJF. Obviously, it does with Osprey. And he kind of tipped his hat to TNA. And I sat back for a second. We'll get back into it. Call Your Shots came on. And I kind of want to do something. No, we're just going to break it down. Somebody that I really love, my wife's favorite wrestler. I
Who?
really wanted to succeed in AEW, and I don't know why it never happened. I mean, Joey Janela tried everything he could to make that storyline work with them, and it just never did. I mean, in the dark side, if you actually watched the AEW Darks, you would have saw their story did continue, and it was actually good. But Sunny Kiss, Impact Wrestling. How does that make you feel?
Sunny Kiss didn't succeed in AEW because they were a small fish in a big pond.
And that was a minnow in their goldfish bowl?
Yeah. I mean,
Okay,
I could see them maybe getting a bigger name for themselves in Impact or TNA.
Yeah.
But I don't. But like, I don't. I don't know what it is, but I just don't like. I don't see them being that huge star.
I don't see them being a big star, but I want. See, I get a little confused with her pronouns because I know she goes by she and they at times. But the last
I think she said the one time it doesn't matter when people were bragging on JR. Get them wrong. I think they don't care either way.
So they're pretty vibrant with it, so
Yeah.
you can go anyway. All right. So
Also, I thought you were going to say your wife's favorite wrestler is Hoovy.
No, we'll get to Hoovy.
I got some definite thoughts on why Sunny
Yeah, go for it.
didn't get over. Too reliant on the splits. Like, I know it's part of the gimmick, but it was like, it's not a believable finish when you do that split leg drop. Like, it looks good and all that, and I honestly think, again, forgive me for using the wrong pronouns if I am.
Yeah.
I think he or she's, I hate doing that.
Fluid. She's fluid.
Yeah,
pick one and go.
Needs to be more serious when the in-ring happens. Be as flamboyant as you want when you're doing your promos and all of that, and you're doing your cutscenes. But much like Doink the Clown, which is not the best analogy because one was a clown, but he switched when he was in ring, and he was dark and he was serious, and that kind of makes those style of gimmicks work.
No, I hear exactly that perspective. That makes sense, but at the same time, the split leg. I feel Sunny Kiss wasn't over on TV, but was over in the crowds. Because on the cruise, Sunny battled Ricky for the FTW championship, and the crowd was vibrant. They were lit. Sunny Kiss chants were going wild. We've seen shows where Sunny Kiss has been a very impactful person in the ring. As for the splits, the mic drop from Max Caster, an elbow drop from the top, is very, he makes it look good, and Bowens usually hits his finisher first, which is a little more believable, so I guess that doesn't work. All right, well, I'm going to have to tip my hat and hand it to you. You got that.
Thank you, sir.
I want to argue, but I can't. In Impact, I feel main eventer, no. But mid-Carter getting over and having a contract and working, that's what I want.
I'll say this about Sunny Kiss, too. If Sunny Kiss won the X Division title tomorrow, it's a lot more believable than them winning the TNT title next week.
I love that. I absolutely love that.
I agree.
And you know who could go, Sonny, and put on a believable good match? Josh. He really could.
Now you mentioned Joey. Did he also debut, or was it just Sunny?
It was just Sonny.
And she used the actual name Sunny and not
Yep.
Exolicious.
No, Sonny Kiss came out.
Cool.
But then something got spoiled there by Justin. The juice is back. What's going on there?
I mean, one time appearance probably. I mean, the Iceman was teasing a big surprise for 2 days, and apparently he booked that hotel for Hoovy. So shout out Iceman.
Hoovy's on the Impact tapings too, so you'll get him one more time.
Ooh, I'm into it.
And he's
It
still
was
doing
nice
the,
to see the juice back.
He's still doing the cheesy rock impersonation.
No.
He's
He was
moving,
full
dude.
mask.
He's wearing masks and doing flips.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, okay, cool.
He dropped the Rock thing, I think, after WCW. 'Cause
Unfortunate.
I don't even remember him doing that in the early days of TNA when he was there.
Unfortunate.
And he definitely did not do that when he went to WWE.
We did get Justin's favorite wrestler, the Indie Taker, Indiana Jones Styles, Matt Cardona.
My boy, my favorite, probably actually, well, he's definitely my favorite indie wrestler. But yeah, Matt Cardona. We'll see how it goes. If it's a one-off, I don't know if he was on the tapings, but Matt Cardona is currently in Impact and MLW at the same time. So, Matt Cardona, like, he's all over the place, and he's making more money than he ever has, and as he says, he's banging a WWF diva.
Rightfully so. What I liked is his appearance did pop the crowd. His hug with Brian Myers made you feel. His throwing Brian Myers out had me popping. I was enjoying it. I was there for it. In the end, you go Bully and Grace, and that's something I enjoyed about this match because the women that were involved were believable in all of their spots. It wasn't out of place to me. And Jordan Grace, man, that ripped tank that she is, like, I don't know. It's one of my favorite females there is. It's been that way for a while, and I was okay with her winning.
Yeah, I'm fine with her winning. I'm cool with it. I don't know if he should have pinned Bully, but yeah, I'm cool with it.
No, and that's all right. There's a lot of things on this pay-per-view I wasn't sure about how it finished. Trinity versus Mickey, very decent match, surprised the shit out of me. I figured this was a go have a smoke of the bong match, and I ended up sitting there watching the whole thing through. I was very shocked. I know Mickey can still go and Trini's Trini, but the two of them together were great. And I thought there was a lot of charisma. The moves were great. I think Mickey may be the best legends still going with more than just the name. Her selling had me, because that's one of my favorite things when I'm watching these matches. I want to see reactions from a move to see if it actually hurt them. I want to see them actually make me believe in it. So if you're not selling the way Mickey was selling for Trini, then I don't know.
We're
Then we
talking
go,
Trinity. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, no, Trinity Fatu.
So yeah, I always found like everybody was always saying like how she never got over in WWE, and nobody
She
knew
won the
why.
belt.
Sorry.
She won the belt. That's over.
I mean, she definitely was over in WWE.
Yeah.
She's 100% was over.
All right, then I'm dropping the point right there then. But there was a lot of people online that were always arguing.
I think the point online wasn't. I'm sorry, I stepped on you there, brother. I don't think that the online disturbance was that she wasn't over. I think it was when she was champ. I don't think anyone doubted it. When she was over, I don't think anyone doubted it. But then it was a ball drop because there were other women coming that they needed to service.
Right.
I think what hurt her too is she won the belt and then she got hurt.
Yes.
and they had to take the belt off her, and then they put it back on her at Mania.
Yeah.
And I think her getting hurt her.
I mean,
Yeah.
for me, her single biggest problem was the fact that it truly, to me, it was an undefined gimmick. What the hell is a glow girl? She danced on the way to the ring. Like, what was your gimmick? If you had to explain it to one of your friends what her gimmick was, you'd probably be at a loss to like. She used to dance, and now she wrestles. Like, what's her gimmick? I still don't know.
I
Like,
think her
what it
gimmick
is.
is that she brings a vibe.
Yeah. You feel that glow.
It is very
She-
vague. That's very
She's all-
vague since she brings a vibe.
She also was a backup dancer for a dinosaur at one point too.
That is true. That is true.
Oh, Drummond, you popped me. I had no clue she danced for Luchasaurus. I had no clue.
No,
Listen up.
no, Brodus Clay. He was the Funkasaurus.
Yeah.
Stu
So all
Golden
in
Girl.
all, it was a decent match. We go to the main event, and obviously I have issue with it. I know it's really hard for me to believe this match. No turn, beat clean, longest reigning, beat by Shelley. You've already heard me say I don't believe you. And Justin and Diggs both said he's believable.
I mean, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Josh lost for the same reasons Cody lost to Roman. Number one.
Oh, finish the story.
Number
me laugh?
two. If you weren't gonna put the belt on Josh, Shelley had to win clean. Because that solidified his run.
It feels forced. Am I wrong? Does it feel forced?
Yeah, I think you're wrong on that.
You're
You don't
100%
feel it's
wrong.
forced.
No, Shelley earned it, dude. Now, we can argue that he came in and out for 20 years, and that's fine because he did.
Yeah.
But to say that he now was he? Do I believe he was more over? 15 years ago when he won the X title when he beat Sabin? Yes, I do. But he's always been over in that company.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's forced. I think it's well deserved. I think the equivalent would be when WWE put the world title on Mark Henry.
I was thinking about when Christian got his first world title.
That too.
You feel that though?
Yes, yeah. They're giving him his flowers for what he did, and it's well deserved. It's fresh because he was never the world champion, so there's a lot of fresh matchups. But you can't. Josh had this historic run, where he outlasted every other world champion that company's had. You can't have him come back and just win matches because then the crowd's going to turn on him.
Yeah,
which is what they would have done had Cody beat Roman at WrestleMania. Maybe not right away, but eventually they would have turned on him.
Would you have been mad if Josh surprised everybody and turned on Shelley, and then out comes Sabin, and then he kicks the shit out of Sabin too, and he just becomes a wrecking ball, angry, and fuck everybody?
So no, I wouldn't.
Yeah,
but
that's
the
what I
thing
kind of
is,
wanted there.
The thing is that if they're gonna go that route, which is fine, they don't have anyone to take that top babyface role.
Well, I mean, they just got it, right?
Who?
Shelley.
Yeah, but
so he isn't believable in this role.
I'm not saying he's not believable, but like you need a. I don't see Shelley as like the face of the company. I see Josh more
him
as
having the belt because it's Flowers time.
Yeah.
But all knowing the truth, because even Macklin, I believe Macklin as a champ. I didn't like Macklin, but he was believable. But Josh was the most believable. He was more believable than when Christian carried it. He was more believable than when Kenny carried it. The guy was Impact World Champion.
Well, to be fair, I think Josh is more believable than the two you mentioned because they also worked for another company.
Yeah.
It wasn't going to last
I
forever.
was trying to bring in the biggest name. I mean, Josh was the most believable Impact champion of all time based on his reign, who he fought, the amount of storyboards he ran through, the Moose, the EYs. He just kept going. It was nonstop. I would say it was total nonstop action out of Josh Alexander. Wait, that's right. Impact is gone and we're going TNA again. Why? I loved it. I loved the little promo in front of the grave. I loved him more in ring. But why?
Yeah, I agree. I think from a nostalgia and fanboy perspective, I'm all in. But from a business standpoint, I look at it as a regression.
Yes.
Especially given the reason why they got rid of the TNA name to begin with.
Yes.
And the letter and the letter. I remember Josh Matthews saying it. Well, I found it really hard to go up to people and say I work for TNA Wrestling and them not laugh, given the fact of what the letters TNA really stand for in society, right? So
Teston Albert?
yes,
Yeah.
Test and Albert.
They marketed it as that at the very beginning and
Yeah.
then changed it to Total Nonstop Action.
What
Yep.
do you mean they marketed that at the beginning?
Well, it was
They were
tits and
calling
ass
it was tits and
wrestling. That
ass.
was how they pushed it.
They did?
Well, look at the girls that were in the ring. It was meant for that.
The girls in the cages, you mean?
that
that like Lollipop when she was dancing in the cage?
They later on introduced the name Total Nonstop Action, but it was, if I remember correctly, it was tits and ass at the very, very, very beginning.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't
was
tits and
always
ass.
total
Not
nonstop.
marketing like on fucking.
It was. It was tits and ass.
What do you mean?
Also,
It was called TNA, but in that first couple years, it was, hey, hot
Wink,
girl.
wink.
It was not.
It was so.
Oh my god.
What are you
Wink,
talking
wink.
about?
I'm talking about Velvet.
Velvet wasn't there at the very beginning.
When did she get there?
Not
Do you
till
know-
2007.
Do you know who's hot? The Trailer Park Girl. What was her name?
The Trailer Park Girl.
ODB. Yeah.
Oh my god, no.
Wasn't there EY?
Oh,
Yeah,
her
they
and
did do a
EY
storyline.
together. That was EY as the insanity. Oh, he was so much fun.
here's what I'll say about it, and I
I thought
think
they shook got married.
from marketing standpoint, it doesn't make sense because I mean TNA had some great moments, but when people think of TNA, it's usually the first thing people bring up is all the negatives. They bring up the Dixie Carters.
The Hulk
They
Hogan.
bring up the Hulk Hogan's and Eric Bischoff. So people have been making fun of TNA for 10 years or more because of all of this. And I think that just puts a spotlight on all of that stuff because people are going to go look that stuff up.
Katie Vick.
Okay.
And I agree. I liked Anthem coming in, Canadian company taking over. We're going to do it this way. It's Impact Wrestling. I got into it because it was ours. They started picking up, getting their tours going, and we've watched where they've come since Anthem took over.
Yeah.
And it's been good stuff. Now, are they accepting all of the silliness of the past? Probably, and they're going to utilize that to gain a better audience. Okay. I do feel like with Will's comments, they might be a big player in the future if they can do the right moves, because what they've been doing in the last year and a half is great.
Well, at the end of the day, it all comes down to money.
Uh-huh.
And what Anthem has versus what they're willing to put out on that product. And if push comes to shove, and let's say they put that money in the product and it pays off, are they going to take it off of their platforms and put it somewhere else?
And that's what we're going to wait for.
Because I mean, if they're going to keep it on Access TV and they're only going to get those 60,000 viewers, then them rebranding as TNA doesn't mean shit.
Exactly. Unless there's a change, there's no reason for the name change.
And I mean, they're not bringing back the 6 sides. I don't believe.
Oh, thank God.
And so I mean, I don't like. It doesn't make unless you're just doing it to create buzz. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
No. So, all in all, Bound for Glory got a strong 7.5. I think it was worth watching. I could say watch Will and Ospreay, and if you're not an Impact TNA guy, you don't have to, because it was very TNA Impacty. It felt that way, and I liked it for those reasons. But outside of the Will and Ospreay, or Speedball and Ospreay, that was the match you needed to watch. So,
Right.
where's your rating out of 10 there, Justin?
I probably agree with you. Probably 7.5.
Zach, you think I'm fair?
Yep.
Okay. Let's get to the AEW stuff, because there was some stuff. Over on Dynamite, Penta and Jay White. Hey, it's Breezy's birthday. Happy birthday, Breezy. Guns up for the Breeze, man. Obviously, he got into that match. I thought it was well done. I really like Penta. It's so hard not to love everything he does. His matches seem pretty the same by majority when he's doing singles, depending on who he's working. Jay looked great. Am I wrong?
Nope.
Pretty fair assessment.
So. Okay. We see Kenny and MJF in the hallway. I enjoyed this because MJF, you prick, let's go. Let's talk to him. Walks up. I just want to shake your hand. Pulls him in close. 13 days, bitch. Whoo. The funny thing about that statement is, do you even have your own fucking title? Because from what I saw, Jay was holding.
Can I tell you that?
Oh.
I kind of hate stolen title storylines. I realized this the other day. I do not like storylines that people steal the titles, and I don't know what it is. Just really bothers me for some reason.
So, like in actual sport, that's like the worst thing you can do is put your hands. Like you can touch the Stanley Cup, but you shall not put it over your head like this. I got into a huge dispute with people at work because somebody I knew was in a room with the cup and he had picked it up and shit like that. And they're like, "But it's a once in a lifetime opportunity." Yeah,
no,
for the person.
Earn that. You don't pick that up. I agree.
Exactly. So I think I hated when Conor McGregor did it in UFC when he grabbed the belt and he started running around with it, holding it over his head and shit like that. So even though it's wrestling and it's not necessarily the same gravitas, it still hits me subconsciously in that way. That's like, nah, that's not the way to do that.
But I mean, is it the first time that's happened?
No, not at all.
No, and it happens all the time. But I disagree. I love belt stealing gimmicks when they're done right, and the person that had it stolen from them is actually upset. This is the first time.
I'm still more pissed that they dropped the anti-Semitic angle and they changed all of that.
Oh,
it was the wrong time.
You're upset that they dropped what?
The anti-Semitic angle. Just for the simple fact that you have now ruined the opportunity to watch the guy come up and become like the guy that was being picked on, get his comeuppance against the bully. Like again, we're stopping the storyline, and I know I said this last time before it even really got started. So there was no real justification. I know the timing of it, what happened in the real world, kind of stopped it as well. But
I think they could have still rolled with it because I think Juice could have backed himself up and just said, this has nothing to do with your story. This has to do with this is the best weapon because when my right fist of God, left fist of God hits you with this in my hand, I am that much more powerful. Like,
and I mean, you're right.
I do feel that I wanted the bully comeuppance. I wanted that storyline, and I wanted it to be Juice. I think a break on the character is fine. It's not going to affect him. But I watched a TikTok today that kind of blew my mind. and I believe there was a bombing that happened, and they brought in Tommaso Ciampa to play a lawyer,
Yeah.
and he came into the ring and he does this whole thing, and it was because Muhammad Hassan was in that angle, and they actually wanted to apologize to the TV execs. That's how he was explained it. I really thought it was funny because he looked at Chris Van Vliet and he's like, why wouldn't they just hire an actor for this? But it happens. I like belt stealing gimmicks if the person that rightfully has that belt, because I mean, so far, MJF has said, yeah, you can hold it. I don't give a shit. That's
And
your
much
fucking baby.
And I mean, in terms of the guy getting his, going after the bully,
Yeah.
that's not I don't. MJF could be the biggest baby face in the world,
Hmm.
and he doesn't strike me as the kind of guy that needs that needs sympathy or needs to be vulnerable in that respect.
You're
But
not wrong.
that's the only level of nuance he has always established in that character. Was that when he was young, the reason why he's a dick is because he had no friends and he was picked on as a kid. When you take
Okay,
that
but
away from that character, you're stripping all the nuance and he's just a dick and that's it.
you're not though, because the other side of it is he's our scumbag. So we like that he's a piece of shit. And
Because you
But
because you
why
have
is he a
sympathy.
piece of shit?
Because you
Pardon?
have sympathy, because we have all been through a period of time where we've been picked on and we had no friends.
But let me ask you this then: why was The Rock a piece of shit when he was a babyface?
I don't have similar or enough
Hmm.
knowledge to back that up in the same way.
Did we cheer The Rock when he mocked Kane's voice box? Because I'm pretty sure we all did.
That's different
Yes, there
timeline,
was
bud.
that's true
No,
too. It
no,
was also the
I'm
90s, but
not
yes.
saying, I'm not picking on Kane because he had a voice box. I'm saying The Rock picked on babyface wrestlers, and we still cheered for him.
Yeah, but I don't think a lot of the stuff The
Retard. I
Rock
believe
said would
that's
have
words
flowed
he
well.
used.
Oh,
Pardon?
He called him the Big Slow.
Yeah. And he
I
would
don't think.
openly call him retard. He would openly use homo slander. He would openly say things that today you say them, cancellation.
I
Yeah.
get that. I'm not, but that's not my point. That I'm not
No,
talking
I'm
about the
agreeing with you.
words.
I'm agreeing with the way he bullied. We still cheered him.
because he was entertaining.
And I think
You can take the 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 stories of the quarters away from MJF, and he's still an entertaining babyface.
yeah.
The Adam Cole stuff has nothing to do with his upbringing,
Yeah.
and he's getting more over because of that than he ever did with his sympathetic promos.
Yeah, but it's not working right now because somebody's hurt.
And also, Urai mentioned a couple weeks back that he thought that they were kind of sweeping the devil mask under the rug a little bit. Do you remember that, Uray?
Yep.
When I
Because
what?
The
you had
devil
mentioned,
mask. We were saying, are we getting more of it or is it just a tease?
Well, we got more of it because it was on. Was it Collision?
Yeah.
yeah, but Tony did say something to the extent of like it was gonna be brushed over. It was really awkward, and then they gave us more, or I guess just 2 seconds of the
Yeah.
mask again. Which this guy had bigger traps. The very first time that they showed the guy in the mask,
He
that
was
guy had
small.
no traps, and I thought it was full for sure. This guy had some shoulders.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's before it was Ziggler and now it's Mansoir. That's why.
wait till next week when it's really short, guy, because it's Hornswoggle.
Yeah.
Could it be silver? So we get Don Callis in the ring, and he talks a bunch of shit about Kyle Fletcher. Fletcher comes out, looks him in the eye, basically is ready to go everybody. I really like what they're doing with Kyle Fletcher in the singles this point. There is something amazing here, and this is why I said I don't have a banger of the week, cuz too many bangers. Pip, pip, pip. This match had me all over the place. Kenny has a way of bringing the best out of them for them to spotlight who they are. And this was one of those. I won't say he does the same value that Brian does to people, but it's damn close. The Kenny rub, like I really think Kenny versus Vikingo, that's Vikingo's claim to fame until he does something different. This was one of those matches, and I thought it was solid start to finish. Any argument?
You may as well be me right now. I have said this to other people in conversation. You take any match from any wrestler, and then that same wrestler with Kenny, and for whatever reason, that match is better.
Mm-hmm.
Even yeah, I don't know if you'd agree with this one or not, but even the Jericho matches.
No, there's I have a problem. Like, okay, MJF too. MJF, Brian Danielson, Kenny Omega, those three men, if you get in the ring with them, you should be able to walk away bigger. Now, there are guys, obviously, Vikingo's not a top name right now. He is for booking wise, but he's not going to carry the AEW title anytime soon. And Urai ruined Vikingo just based on his height.
But for
Not
instance, the
wrong.
next after that Kenny match, Vikingo had a match with Commander, and it did not look the same. It was
No.
all the same spots. It was all the same. It didn't have the same fluidity. It didn't have the same great.
Well, to be
Well,
all fair, at that
it's
point
all-
they've run them out 100 times since then. So
No, they have.
and it's all the same
Yeah.
spots because every match is all the same spots nowadays.
But they look better with Kenny. Was my point.
But but Kenny also is not going to do the stuff that Commander does,
No.
right? He's not going to do the Fosbury flop and all the flips over the top rope. So you're going to get more of a
Story.
wrestling. Yeah, you're going to get more of a story with Kenny,
And that's the difference, yes.
and that is the difference.
He still made Vikingo look better.
Yes,
Right,
but
because he told the
Vikingo
story.
came in, and there was an instant story as soon as Kenny got there. I am the leader. You need to get through me before you're allowed to say you're a wrestler. Here's a Mexican champion coming in from another company. You go with me, and we'll see if you can actually hang. You know? And Vikingo could hang. The spots were amazing. Same spots, yes, but Kenny made the story matter in ring. There was multiple times where you were like, oh, who could win? Wait, is he really going to give it to him? Is this going to be Viking? But the whole thing was told in ring.
It's like, I just watched today before NXT. I watched Gringo Loco and Vikingo from GCW in Japan. I've seen the match a million times. They really didn't do anything different, but it was a lot more fun, I think, because they were in Japan.
So
it was a new environment.
I'm holding some tequila. This came from a friend in Mexico. And for the next segment, we got the announcement of Sting saying it's time to put the boots in the ring. I am going to bring this out for our eulogy when it's time for Sting. And I will drink some tequila to that man.
I'll save my tequila too, but my tequila came from a Samoan man. That's all I'll say.
Was it Roman?
The real tribal chief.
Oh, Jacob Fatu.
If you saw the wax sculpture, I'm talking about Vin the Rock Diesel.
Nice.
DJ Diesel?
Close. Not that DJ.
Wait, Jack Diesel's putting out another rap album? I'm in.
I actually think he did.
No, he's doing this mixing. He's doing.
Yeah, that's DJ Diesel. That's DJ Diesel.
Yeah, no, I want Shaq Diesel, the 1994 Sega Genesis Shaq Fu Diesel.
What about the movie? What was that movie called? Shazam. Yep.
There was a superhero one too.
Oh, Steel.
I
like Steel. I'm not gonna lie.
I won't lie. Let me find that in a bin, and I'm buying it.
Yeah, not wrong.
We go to a kind of fun segment with Nick Wayne, Mama Wayne, and a horny Jim Ross. The memes alone on this and the little gifs have me rolling. JR looked hungry, a little thirsty. I don't blame him. She's a rocket, but
She's high.
good segment. But the best part about it was Jim Ross's reaction. That's your mother. Such a voluptuous, beautiful mother.
So I have a question about Nick Wayne's mom. When is she turning?
She's definitely turning. You're not wrong. She's turning at some point.
She's turning me.
Oh,
Turning me.
because I think I'm more excited about the prospect of her actually being with Christian than I am about her being mad that her son.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
it's
it's
good.
happening. It's happening. 100% that's happening.
That's so good.
Remember, Christian can definitely get Nick Wayne's mom. He already got Trish Stratus 20 years ago.
That's so good. That's so good. So Battle Royal. It was what it was. Me and the kids picked who we wanted. Obviously, I went with the greatest, Dustin Rhodes. Unfortunate. I really thought he was going to win this one.
Oh, did you?
Juice wins. Rightfully so. Good storytelling. It just leads to where we thought it would go. Groovy enough.
I think this diamond ring thing is kind of dumb now.
Yep.
It's not like WCW did that, right? That they would do the battle bowl thing with the ring, right? And they kind of and then I think Eddie Guerrero won it one year, DDP won it, and they kind of had a feud over it, which is fine. But like, I'm winning this battle royal to face MJF for the ring.
Yeah, that was stupid.
The ring isn't a championship, guys.
No.
Yeah.
If you want to do this, then just have the winner of the battle royal be the guy that has the ring.
Yeah.
Like I'm all
or
for
have
that.
the ring give you an option for a title match.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stupid.
Yeah.
I'll agree. You know what wasn't
No argument.
stupid? Rampage this week. I can't believe I just said that. I know, I was fucking crazy. Why was Rampage so good? Because too many bangers. Mystico and Rocky Romero, 2 out of 3 falls match. I set it up.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Go.
No, you go ahead.
All right, so
I'll
I
go.
set it up. You sons of bitches. All right, so I set it up for my son because he's never seen Sin Cara. He never got into that world. So I'm like, okay, we're going to watch this. And it was what I needed it to be. I think it's insulting that match was put on Rampage when Mystico should have got that value on one of their main shows. One of those other matches could have been switched. You can't tell me it couldn't. Penta and Jay on Rampage would get more people to see that. Mystico being there as they make a relationship with CMLL, as at the same time you have a relationship with AAA. That's kind of a war that's been going on since before Palestine and Israel, geopolitical. So, Urai, how did you feel about the match?
Well, I disagree with Penta and Jay White being on Rampage, bringing in more viewers.
No one's going to watch anyway.
Pardon?
No one's going to watch Rampage anyway.
Oh, okay, exactly. My thing with this is Tony Khan made a comment a few weeks ago about a certain rating streak and Cena and Undertaker, but I don't think he realizes that Sin Cara or Mystico also falls under that, as he drew a ridiculously low number for his first time in a decade on American TV as well. But all jokes aside, the match itself, I really liked it. I understand why they did the 2 out of 3 falls thing,
Mhm.
but I feel like that might have slowed down the match a bit.
Yeah.
Have
Have they ever touched? I don't think that. Like, I've never seen them touch.
Well, I mean, I don't watch CMLL.
Well, that's your
That's
problem.
like the one promotion I don't watch.
They made it seem like a feud, so I would assume they did.
Yeah, they did. So yeah, so I mean, I don't know if they did that, if they touched. But I mean, I liked the match. It was really good. It was something different on Rampage.
Mhm.
So I'm going to give them credit for that.
So
And I don't know if the 2 out of 3 falls thing slowed it down a little bit here and there, because it kind of seemed like every time they did a fall, it kind of did for a minute or two. But
Yeah.
other than that, probably one of the most things I look forward to this week on AEW TV.
Mhm. I was very excited for it. They
Was
released. Yes.
sorry, was Rocky's presentation like? Is that his always the CML? I don't know what can answer this. The CMLL presentation full time. Because last time he was coming out, it was still the Roppongi Vice song, and he
Yeah,
was not
but
dressed like
he's got
that.
like 8 different entrances. Like, he
Yeah,
produces his own music. He's got like, I think Roppongi Vice is up to like 8.0 in Japan.
Yeah, I think for this match it was kind of weird because like Rocky's always been presented as like a babyface on AEW
Mhm.
television, and this match he was more presented as a heel.
Mm.
So and this is kind of where like, while I think it's cool that AEW does these kind of things, so like, the AEW people, like, if you're just talking AEW fans, like let's just say that AEW fans don't watch every other promotion under the sun, which we know a lot of them do. So like Rocky's a heel, but like next week when he's a babyface, are we gonna cheer him because
Yeah.
he's not in Texas facing Mystico?
Who'd he fight on Northern Crown?
Hankman. Wait, no.
Gabriel Forza.
Gabriel Forza.
Did we cheer Fuerza?
I think we did.
Yeah.
I
I
think
was
you
gonna
guys
say
did.
I've
I
never
cheered for
put
Rocky.
over Rocky ever.
Yeah.
I
I
cheered
for Rocky.
I definitely cheer for Rocky.
I'm
I
pretty
think it
sure
was
I
a mixed
cheered
crowd.
Fuerza.
Pardon?
Pretty sure I went Fuerza.
Yeah, I think it was a mixed crowd. But that's the thing though. But we're not. But that's the thing though. You go to an indie show, you're gonna boo. It's not on television. You can boo and cheer whoever you
Oh,
want.
yeah.
But when you're presenting somebody on television this entire time as like a character, and then for 1 week because you're in a state where they they also enjoy lucha libre wrestling, so you bring in a guy like Mystico, and now I'm supposed to boo him, but in a week I'll cheer him when he's back with Orange Cassidy and the gang. Like he's not Bret Hart.
No?
No.
Oh, okay.
He's better. He's
Yeah,
better
how
than
dare
Bret
you?
Hart.
He's not better than Bret Hart. So that's my thing with it. Like, I don't know why Tony went that route with it,
M-
but
My
other than that, like, I don't have any qualms about the match.
my biggest issue is not one of those 3 falls got blue lighting. I'm just saying.
That too. Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
The only other piece of Rampage that was heavy for me was obviously seeing the number 1 ranked black wrestler bounty hunter Brian Keith back in action.
Oh my God, yeah.
I can't even remember the guy who he tagged with's name. I've never seen him before, and I don't know why they were tagging. And unfortunately, with Rampage, I like to shut off commentary for a lot of wrestling so I can talk about it, or I can watch it quietly.
Mm-hmm.
So that was this case. Either way, like to see him back on TV. Now we get to Collision.
Wait, can I say one thing about Rampage first?
Oh, I hit the thing. Go ahead.
One thing you didn't mention, I'm surprised you did not mention this. So we got more with the Santana Ortiz thing.
Oh yes.
So
We
next
did.
week we're having a street fight, right?
Yeah.
I like that. That's just, you said it the other week there, that it's just a Rampage thing, and I like that. They should do more things like that, like Drummond said with Jeff Hardy being exclusive to
Yeah.
Rampage.
Except this week where he's on Dynamite.
Yeah. But you know, like I like that. You know, if you put certain guys, like, you know, if you put certain guys on certain shows, then I have a reason to watch those shows if I give a shit about those guys.
Yes.
Like when Punk was there, and like Collision was an entirely different show. And now that Punk's gone, you still have those guys that only appear on Collision and may only appear on Dynamite, but it's now few and far in between.
Yeah.
And and you know, I don't mind that if you know, if Kenny Omega is going to be on Collision next week, then I don't want to see him on Dynamite.
So can
Only
we
have
get
him be
like
on-
5 to 7 guys that are strictly Rampage storytelling guys, and they can go to wherever else, but their main story is on Rampage, and it gives me a reason to watch. Yeah.
But I want that for all the shows.
Yeah.
I like, and that's the one thing, like, with WWE, they, for the most part, they have that too. You can't do what you did with the brand extension 20 years ago and have one show as a wrestling show and one show as a more of an entertainment show, because wrestling has evolved so much that it's all good wrestling now for the most part.
Yeah.
But what you can do is you can go, I'm going to watch Raw because they have these guys I like, and I'm going to watch SmackDown because they have these guys I like.
And I'm down for that. I was really enjoying the separate rosters and giving the guys a chance.
Because
I agree.
Since Punk's left, how many times have you seen Miro?
Lots.
Not very often.
He had one of his best matches to date. We'll get to that. As we get to Collision. Too many bangers. Right back at it. Andrade, Bryan, wow. I love Andrade. How much time do you think they got, Justin? What was that, 32 minutes?
No, it wasn't that long.
It was pretty long.
Oh, I didn't watch it with the commercials.
I mean, I watched on delay.
I watched picture.
You know what? So it was longer. It was at least long. It was at least 20 minutes because my feed froze at one point. I had to put it back on, and I was at 18 minutes at that point. So it at least went 20.
One of my favorite parts of this match was the fact that I didn't turn off the commentary. For Nigel McGuinness's comments on Bryan Danielson being half the man, which makes it bad for all the people that are half a man. And then he called out, I wish I remember his line, Zach Gowen.
Yeah, that killed me, actually.
Bryan Danielson is half the man.
Zach Gowen is.
Yes. I immediately went, oh, I love that. I was all over the place with this match. I love Andrade so much, and this was exactly the match he needed. It's like me and Tank were talking with Kenny Omega. Andrade doesn't need this match, but he kind of does. How do you feel about that, Uray? Do you think he needed this match?
Yeah, I do. Because I don't like the thing with Andrade, and I think this is what, like, I don't think he's gotten to that upper level that they wanted him, that we all thought he was going to get to very easily when he went to AEW. I think people forget why he wasn't as big of a star in WWE as we all hoped for, and it's because he doesn't speak the best English. And I think that also hurts him a little bit in AEW. The difference is a little bit is that the wrestling kind of gets you a little more over in AEW than it does WWE.
Yes.
So for that reason alone, I think he did need that match. Because I don't, and this might have been because he got hurt shortly after that. but like I don't think the Cody match did him any wonders, because the only thing that was talked about that match was the flaming table, and
True.
then he kind of started to turn babyface a little bit, and then he got hurt in the latter match, and then he was gone for almost a year. So I think because they're just starting to restart him since he's been back, he did need this match.
It's funny because they've actually faced each other in WWE.
I was there live for it. It was in Toronto.
Wasn't this match, was it?
No, it definitely was not.
How about the gory special? That may have been my favorite part of the match. When he put him up and he's holding him and he's giving it, I'm like, oh my God. There were parts of it that told outside storylines where Andrade was reaching to the people that he looked up to, and you see Bryan doing it as he always does, grabbing the submissions from around the world. This one had me hook, line, sinker. It's hard for me not to say another banger of the week.
I want to point out that since Bryan's been back, there's a lot of commentary is talking about the metal plate in his forearm.
Mm.
Can we just give him the Lex Luger gimmick already? Can he just be the narcissist?
And just give him the Dragon Express, and I'm into it.
No. That was when Luger was a good guy, and we kind of forgot about the metal plate in his arm.
Yeah, but he still had it, and I just want the bus back because that was the greatest thing to ever happen to wrestling.
Sure. Okay.
I agree.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Someone that didn't agree made a return. Lights out, lights on, black mass. Good night, Bryan. We're going to see him a couple times. I popped hard. I immediately texted Drummond and said, wait till you watch this now. I'm happy he's back. I'm happy it's going straight to Bryan. I hope they actually tell a story with it. I'm eager. I'm an eager beaver on this one.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
Now, I have the receipts. I learned that word from watching a lot of Jersey Shore. I have the receipts here of Drummond texting me during this show and saying his absolute banger of the week goes to the next match with Sky Blue and Holly Hood Haley. Why is that your favorite match of everything this week, Justin?
I don't know if that ever happened. I mean, I texted Uri and I said I thought her name was Hollywood and not Hollyhood, so I want to know when that happened. But yeah, I guess guess she's not going for that WWE tryout after all. That's all I'll say about that. I mean, she's not that good, so she probably shouldn't go for a tryout anywhere. Stick with Al.
Stick with Al. I immediately am like...
She's got the charisma. That's why she's getting tryouts.
And she's kind of cute.
She is.
Yeah, I'd agree.
I mean, she's no Sky Blue.
Oh.
Scooby-Doo, Sky Blue.
Yeah. My daughter's sitting at the table doing something, homework or something. I go, check these gimmicks. She looks at it and she's like, why does that look familiar? I'm like, imagine it on a van. I enjoy it. It's kind of fun where this is going with Sky Blue because I don't know where it's going. We see her multiple times. We know that's something to do with Julia. It's something to do with what's her name? Willow. But there's still more to come on that. I kid. It was Uri that texted me because next segment was Uri's favorite tag team in pro wrestling, the Outrunners versus the Guns.
Love the Outrunners.
Why are they so bloody entertaining? Go ahead, Tank.
There's actually, I wanted to bring this up a couple weeks ago, and I wanted to direct it to Justin directly. Justin is the Outrunners guy, right? Not Zach. You're
No, they all love him.
Okay, so the one wrestler that was released that I think would work well with the Outrunners and to make them a trio. Rick Boogs. No, you can't see it?
Drummond, did you hear what he just said?
Drummond?
What's coming up?
I'm kind of dealing with something right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you got to hear what was just said to you.
Okay, what was said to me? Sorry.
Tank just delivered the Outrunners getting a trios led by Rick Boogs.
Okay, I'm in. I like that. That's really good.
All right, mute it for a bit. Deal with the kiddo.
Is Rick Boogs bleaching his hair though?
Yes, please.
Okay, I'm in.
Oh,
And I want the name Bugenhagen coming back as well.
I'm in on it.
But he would need a cheesy 80s gimmick name, like how they have Turbo and all that. Nitro. What was another Wolf?
American
Wolf.
Gladiator style,
That's
right?
not Laser or something.
Yeah, Laser. Right. Who was your favorite American Gladiator?
So I'm not gonna lie to you. I watched it, but I didn't remember they had names. And it was the same guys like every week until I watched the documentary.
Oh my God.
I agree with Wolf, but I also was a fan of whatever Matt Morgan's name was on the new ones.
Are you looking it up?
What was Matt Morgan's name on American Gladiators?
I think it was Beast.
It was Beast. He got it without trying.
Wow.
I remember a WCW versus American Gladiators family feud. It was so good. It was so good. It was so good. But yes, I agree. I would be down for some Boogs action if this was his team and they were just going 80s wrestling hair metal style. It would be fun. Outrunners are over, man. The crowd was over for them. And I mean, they're against the Guns. The Guns are one of the top teams in this entire company. They were over. You might as well start using them regularly. Sign them.
Put them on Ring of Honor. Or someone else pick them up. Billy, call them. Call the Outrunners. You had them before. Give them a contract, Billy.
Oh my gosh, did you hear it? Impact just signed the Outrunners.
I wish.
I mean, I said Billy as in Corgan, but I could see them going to Impact too. That'd be good. Or
Oh,
TNA.
I got it. I just don't want them going to NWA. It'll get there. It'll get there. I like NWA's package. There's nobody there. Like after Ricky left, it was hard for me to follow into Brodus. It's always been hard ever since that dirtbag Mizdow screwed over RJ City in the Mississauga screw job at Destiny. I'll never, ever, ever like that man again.
But you know who's really good in NWA is the guy who's playing Terry Gordy in the Von Erich movie, Silas Young. He's the national heavyweight champion. He's awesome.
Silas
Young?
Young?
There right now.
Oh, Silas Mason, sorry.
Okay, because I was Silas Young?
Yeah, the Thrill Billy, Silas Mason. He's been doing some good work for sure.
All right, I'm looking it up, boys. I'm looking it up. You guys got me.
He's got some size on him too.
I have no clue who that is.
We're gonna look him up, and that's our homework for the week.
He had an exotico valet who went by the name of El Pollo Loco.
Pollo Del Mar.
Pollo Del Mar, that's what it was. My bad. Chicken of the Sea, translated.
Tanks is schooling us. He knows something.
I know. Apparently he really loves NWA.
I love it. I'm so into this right now.
Is this an inside joke that I'm unaware of?
But we're always talking about these like Impact or going over to random shows, and you're the student coming into most of those. But here, me and Drummond, obviously Urai's an encyclopedia, so he knows everything. But you know this guy and his work. I love it.
Yeah, no, he does some good stuff.
Do you know who else does good stuff? I don't care. Eddie Kingston, tell me about this match, Justin.
Bro, this is again, this is if everyone chose Speedball and Osprey as their banger, this was my banger. It was beautiful. I mean, it's Jeff Jarrett, and it was everything you'd want in a street fight. It was bloody. It was a tribute to the old school, Memphis style street fights as you'd expect. You had that announcer, guest commentator. I don't remember his name or know who that even is, but it was perfect.
Yeah, I will add that I tease, but it was a lot of fun. Dave Brown, legendary Memphis commentator. There were parts of it that I'm like, okay, what is the point here? Why is there so many people? But Eddie signed up for it, so it made sense. Eddie wanted this challenge.
Well, there were so many people because what was the reward if Jarrett won?
That Jay Lethal gets a title match against Eddie.
Right.
Oh, so I didn't. I had no clue that. I had no clue that was even a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a piece on, I believe, Rampage. They made that challenge.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was a lot of fun. You kept feeling like who could come out for Eddie to help him, and nobody came, and I felt that was even better because that added another element to the match. That Eddie's all alone.
Yeah, I agree.
The absolute out of nowhere stunner into the table from Jay Lethal. I really enjoyed that spot. I think it was safe as it could be, and it looked nice. I was like, there's no way I believe Eddie losing to Jeff. But then you hit lethal injection, you hit 2 strokes, and you hit the Satnam choke slam. Yeah, absolutely he's going to take a 3 count. So, believable? Yes. Entertaining? Yes. Was there mustard? Yes. I was into it. I was okay with everything that happened in this match, and I would love to bury it like I buried the Texas Chainsaw Massacre match, but this was nothing like it. It actually was well done.
Well, it's like you said, Dusty, there was mustard, but was there ketchup?
Yeah, there was ketchup too.
There was a little bit of ketchup. I was not a big fan of the after-match promo, a very rare miss from Eddie, I thought personally.
Yeah.
And outside of like actually flubbing up a line, it didn't seem to have that believability and that passion. Yeah, calling him Jamar over and over again, really.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
You know what, guys? Honestly, before I let you go, I honestly have to get out of here. But I want to listen to Zach, and then I'm gonna bounce.
All right, brother.
Yeah, I actually liked it. When he talked about, I mean, I get that he said Jamar over and over again, and I can understand that. But when he brought up his mother, and he's like, your mother's gonna watch you get your ass kicked, and she's gonna cry, not because you're getting hurt, but because she knows you deserve it. I felt that.
That was a good line. That was probably the only one, but I remember anyway.
And before you go, I just want you to know. I really wish we could slice that intro right to the song because it's so much fun to play with.
Amazing.
All right, thanks, sir.
Okay, boys, I'm going to bounce. I'm at the Lafiteria November 4th. Tickets online at Eventbrite. And we
check our boy out
soon.
Check him out. Check him out. So now we move on to someone that I heard wasn't getting enough time since Punk left. And we get a damn match. This is the banger of the week. One of the most entertaining wrestlers in AEW today. Ever since he got the Jericho rub, he has been a star. Action Andretti versus Miro. What a match. I'm drumming. I'm gonna go completely drumming on this, okay? Okay. I'm gonna try. It was really good. It had all the things you would expect from this type of match. There were good spots, and I really enjoyed Miro just destroying them the entire time. There was a lot of meat chants. I was into it. Was that good? Did I get you?
It's pretty good.
Okay, I tried. No, I kid. I kid. Action is in his first storyline since the Jericho thing. It might be over before it began. Um, I really, and I can't believe I'm saying this. I enjoyed CJ Parker being there.
CJ Parker from
Is
It's
that
not
her
Baywatch,
name?
Baywatch. This isn't Baywatch.
or
Or
Juice Robinson's old NXT gimmick.
choose.
Oh,
You can
that's who
choose.
CJ Parker. What's her name? CJ Perry?
Yeah.
Oh, whatever. Lana. So she's sitting there, and I'm into it. She's giving Miro more to his character. So she's gonna pick people, and then he's just gonna slaughter them to stop her from having people. What is this? Who knows? But you can get a good 5-6 matches out of this to make him look like the extreme wrecker until she finds the guy that puts him in his place, like a Wardlow or somebody.
No, Drummond already said who the guy was going to be.
Who?
Tell him, Drummond.
Dolph Ziggler. Makes
Wow.
sense.
They're going to run it back.
Wow, I didn't even think about this. So I wrote down pretty funny for the next spot. FTR versus some guys. And then the House of Black makes another appearance. Cool. Kind of builds. House of Black are going at everybody. There's no stop here. Kind of enjoying it. Main event, Starks and Bill versus Claudio and Yuta. Decent match, good tag match, good run-ins, good interferences, good placements. I enjoyed it. Ending the show with an absolute clusterfuck, and normally I hate it. But since Collision started doing these, I'm kind of digging it because you get everybody's face in there. The best part about it was Malachi saying to Ricky, let's go in and take them on. And Ricky darting right into the ring and Malachi backing off, and they were just going to watch. I don't know why Big Bill stood there. I mean, as your tag partner, you should be involved somehow. But whatever. You got a quick boom, Big Rig Styles, and we're out. What did we think of the Collision?
It's all right. It's pretty good.
I think it started off and ended as my favorite show of the week minus pay-per-views. I'm going to do a 1-hour show in 13 seconds. Battle of the Belts, no titles changed, game over. Urai, do you want to break Battle of the Belts down at all, or is there a point to it?
One thing I did want to say about Battle of the Belts, and this is not about like the quality of the matches or anything, but on Rampage they did this triple threat match where the winner faces Orange Cassidy, right?
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't come up with 3 better people than John Silver, who has not been seen since, I believe, All Out. Kip Sabian, who's been on Ring of Honor, I think, 2 times in the last 6 months, and Brother Zay.
So are you saying AEW has a shit ton of talent they don't use, and then when they use them, you don't like the guys they used?
I'm saying that there's other people that should be in those title matches.
I agree. A Battle of the Belts has a name to the show. Why are you not giving him a big name, a bring in, anything? I don't agree that the match was the match. And I love Silver, but I mean, if there's no reason for it, he won a triple threat against Zay and like you said,
like even if you put like, he didn't have to win, but even if you put like Hobbs in there,
Here's one for you. Ethan Page.
Yeah. He's been winning on Ring of Honor a lot more than the other three.
Ethan Page would have been a perfect person for this show to
Yep.
make me say, I want to watch that match.
Yeah.
And that's not bias on the Canadiana.
Not
I mean,
at all.
I probably would have actually watched Battle of the Belts if it was Orange Cassidy versus
Yeah.
Ethan Page.
That would be a banger. Why is that not on there? That would have been another banger of the week. All in all, we got some good in ring. We're going to move this over to the indie side of things. Unfortunately, I already broke down my entire indie show once today. I'm going to see if I can do it a second time. I went over to PWO in Hamilton at the Germania Bar and Grill or Club or whatever it's called.
No, I like your name better. It's not the Bar and Grill, but we're gonna go with that for now.
No, we're gonna call it the Germania Lounge now.
I like it. The Germania Hookah Lounge and vapes. But driving over there, I noticed a bunch of mushroom houses, like storefront mushroom places. And I'm like, oh, this Hamilton. So we get into the show. I look around. First time there, it felt Hamilton-y. Not in a bad way. Grimy, greasy, delicious in every way. What a wrestling crowd should feel like. It was a packed house. We got some good seats. Opener is the main match I got to speak about because you get Tarek versus Jesse for their second match. And I saw their first match earlier this month.
They were the opener again?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But Urai, they opened properly. The crowd was hot as hell. And it was split. It was absolutely split. I actually couldn't chant for one guy. I was chanting for both and continuing the chants going. So if my kids were cheering Jesse, I would cheer him. Jesse came out and got into the ring, and we started singing, "Is it too late now to say I'm sorry?" And he heard us, and he goes, no, let's get it going. So we continued singing it. A lot of people had laughs. As for the in-ring, I talked to Tarek and Jesse both separately afterwards. And I said there was a moment in that match where the crowd was just eating it up. And you could see you guys hit a different shift. He told me in the drink line that Tarek looked at him and said, "We've got them." And they went to town on each other. And it was hard hitting. It felt real. Jesse was taking some serious damage and it looked good. I do believe we're getting more of this with a future spot in Neo. If Tarek takes the title, you could see Jesse being a viable option to fight for the belt in the future. I've been pushing CWF, bring this match to CWF. The boys will come. I want to see them go a couple more times because there's something there that's really tasty, and I got a taste of it. Other than that, there was a young kid, 17-year-old, in a scramble match. And New Hook from the tag team Sabotage, he's going solo now. He's a Newfie, Nova Scotian, big boy, really decent. I really enjoy him. And this kid, XS Jr., and then there were like 7 or 8 other people. And the kid climbs up the turnbuckle holding a wrist lock. And then he does the tightrope walk to the other one, kicks New Hook off, and then moonsaults on everybody. My kids went nuts. The whole room lit up. I mean, Commander does it without holding someone's hand, but the kid was 17. It was a spot I really enjoyed. I talked to the kid afterwards. He's from Montreal, second generation. Very entertaining. I'm going to say we're going to get more and more of him as he grows because he's young, and you can see he's young, but he isn't green.
You talked to Access Junior?
Yes.
But did you talk to Access Senior?
He was not there. His match got canceled, and they turned it into a triple threat with your favorite. Who trained you?
Devin Parkside.
Devin Parkside took on the other two, and It was decent enough. The main event was kind of cool. It was a steel cage match.
Well, because you know who Access is, right?
Who?
He used to wrestle in IWS with Generico and that Steen guy.
Really?
They're like best friends.
Well, that's adorable. I guess if XS keeps it up, he's going to be the future Canadian Nick Wayne.
He might be.
I dig it. Book him. We'll come back out to see him if he's around. Main event was a steel cage match, and it was Rip Impact's ring, and it was his steel cage. And I gotta say, Ontario Indies best steel cage. If Rip Impact is supplying the ring and he's got the steel cage match coming, you know it's solid, because that steel cage fit like a glove, custom made, beautiful. I really enjoyed this match. Greed, always fun, pissing off everybody, taking on Holden Albright, starts kicking his ass. The lights go out. It was actually pretty funny. The lights in the whole room go out, but the entrance foyer didn't go out. So it was like just dimmed, but it was trying to be lights out. Evan Greenway came back, who was their past champion, and he slides in the ring, and now it's a triple threat. Disgraceland is Greed's team. It's a group of badasses with that hot little Shiloh, and they went to town on everybody throughout the show. So, all in all, I was very impressed with PWO. I will be watching their Facebook and their Instas to see what they do for future shows. I don't know if I can drive up to Hamilton on every show, but it's definitely something I'm going to be paying attention to. Uri, you went on a little excursion. What did you see this weekend?
That was last weekend. I didn't go to any shows this weekend.
You didn't go to CWF?
No.
Oh.
No, I did not.
Well, then I guess that's it.
Yeah.
So I think we had some issues here. The boys got together, got this episode together. We got to see Blanche multiple times, and I know what I'm thinking about later.
Yeah.
Lots of in-ring. Love you guys. Hope you guys had fun. And
until
Dusty
next week,
finish?
enjoy the refreshments.
And thank you for being a friend.
All right, let's hold off. Drum and go.
And thank you for being a friend.
And that's the Dusty finish.
And until next week, enjoy the refreshments.